Now, the side program gives you opportunity that apart from your degree, you will be able to learn a skill, at least a skill. And these skills, they are supported. We have the support. We have partnership with Unity Bank, where we are what they call entrepreneur, and then Unity Bank what we are corporate. Today, as I'm talking to you today, Unity Bank will be coming. Those who submitted business proposal, somebody will bring money that will start a business with. Apart from that, those who have gone through the training in the camp here, after the orientation, they go through mentorship, apprenticeship in skill centers. After that, business proposal will be made. When they make their business proposal, it will be checked and loans will be given to them. We have bank with Bank of Industry, with NYSC. So in terms of funding, NYSC will be able to access funds for members. Interest-free. All what you need to come with, yes, good idea that will be able to make you, instead of being somebody looking for a job, you are an employer of labor. And I'll tell you that it has been very successful. And we've gone a step further, coming up with the NYSC Trust Fund. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yes.
The NYSC Trust Fund is just waiting for presidential assent. Once it's assented, then members in terms of job will not be a problem because you will be an employer yourself. You access startup capital to start your business. So, through SAID, a lot of members have done wonderful things. Wonderful things. Even those members there are ex-members with this SAID program. Who have, put up their own business, are successful, have their own staff working for them. I'm talking to you right now in the camp. Because what we do is we encourage our ex-members who are into SAID to come and train so that they'll be role models to the ones who are in the camp. So we are very conscious of that. It's our desire that no member after service will be looking for white-collar job. Our desire is to be able to start employing labor while, serving it. You'll be able to get your hands, bearings, properly, and then move on with your life. And then be able to employ labor and reduce the issue of unemployment.
But many would say, with all of this that you've said, I mean, we still have a high level of unemployment in the country, if not the highest in the world.
Yes.
We got that report. So if for 50 years the NYSC has been doing this, why aren't we seeing some sort of decline in the numbers?
Well, is it not possible that it would have been more than that? It's possible. For us, we know our members, they have startup capital from those banks that I told you of, and then they are giving money. They are giving interest-free loan to start up their business. So, most of them are doing very well. Okay. Most of them are doing really, really well.
All right.
We monitor them, so we know that they are doing well.
All right, we'll come back to plenty more questions. Perhaps our listener would have a thing or two that they'd like to ask you to respond to. And I know some core members are also listening, and intending core members are listening. And some people would disagree with you with regards to the unity of the country, and which is one of the purposes for which the scheme was put up. Especially when you look at how that election, the divide that we have still existing in the country on religious lines, on ethnic lines, it's just so huge. And if over 50 years we still have this, despite the fact that the NYSC has been a tool that should be changing the orientation, many still feel that we can't score the NYSC program high in fixing that problem.
Well,
so perhaps you would hold that thought. Okay. Maybe when we return after this very short commercial, you would tell us, perhaps you would tell us if there are plans needed within the NYSC, programs that would foster this unity and how it has been working. Perhaps you give us more information into that. Just stay on the line for us. In the next 1 minute and a few seconds, we'll be right back. If you're listening and you have questions, when we return, you'll hear more from my guests. The phone lines will be open, so you ask your questions. You can also send them in to us using the WhatsApp number 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. On Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. On Twitter, Nigeria Info PH. My guest is the coordinator of the NYSC in Rivers State, George Mfongang. Stay tuned.
Nigeria Info will be right back.
Welcome to
Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Twitter, Nigeria Info PH. You can join in on the conversation. I know you have questions you'd like to ask. My guest is the NYSC coordinator in River State, George Mfongang, and he's talking to us right now via telephone. He's in camp at Tai, where core members are currently undergoing the 3 weeks compulsory camping. And, let's open the phone lines and let's get your response. In the meantime, as we await your calls, Mr. George, thank you for staying with us.
Yeah.
So I'd just like you to respond to the question we left off before the commercial as regards to what we saw during the election. Before the election, there's still many people who think that, well, that unity aspect cannot agree anymore because we don't see it happening, especially with how far the country is at the moment. What is the NYSC specifically doing? What specific plan are there in the program that helps to foster unity?
From its mandate of fostering national unity and integration. NYSC is not a political party. It's a body that is set up by government. And NYSC normally, it's involved in national assignments like elections, like population census, and other national programs. So the young ones, as far as we know, the young ones are, still believe in the unity of this country, and they're working towards that. For every young graduate, just imagine somebody who is supposed to serve probably, and for one reason or the other is not able to serve. How you feel? That's how the young ones had the.
But we're gradually seeing a lot of people. I mean, I have younger ones. I have younger ones. I have friends, younger ones to friends, who are telling you that, Uncle, I beg this NYSC, we don't want to do it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
Because the opportunity has not come. When it comes, they are the ones that rush to the camp first. Some people say
it should be scrapped. There are many people now, younger people, who think the NYSC as it is should be scrapped.
There was a time people came up with that idea. And when that idea, the young ones, those in the institutions, protested and said, no, that it shouldn't, because it's an opportunity for them to do something else with their life. It's an opportunity to the NYSC is a platform. It's a platform that, you don't even know where your future lies. I've seen people that find themselves, parents and so, my child is in this place, they want them to relocate, and the children will say, no, I don't want to leave that place. I'm comfortable here. It injects independence into people, into young people. And they start life, they rediscover themselves. That's the beauty of the NYSC. That's the beauty of what I went through too. It was the first time in my life to live alone, live on my own. And since then, I've been independent. And that's one thing the NYSC said. The NYSC, if you go look at the objective of the NYSC, it will help you to understand, why the Nigerian youth, what them look like, the way they behave. They become very patriotic. They become very committed to nation building. Because talking about inculcating discipline in Nigerian youth, by instilling in them a tradition of industrial work, patriotic and loyal service to the nation, in any situation they may find themselves. You know what that means? And so many countries have come to copy this very scheme from NYSC. Gambia did that. Sierra Leone did that. In 2020, France started their own youth program. France, which is a developed country, started their youth program. So, the Uganda, they came to the NYSC to copy the same model too. So if we say the NYSC is not doing well, and then countries are coming, it means they are seeing something unique about the NYSC in Nigeria.
Okay, Mr. George. Let's open the phone lines. We'll go on with more questions, but let's hear from the listener. The numbers to call, if you have contributions to make or questions to ask. My guest is still very much with us via phone. He is the coordinator of the NYSC in River State, George Mfongang. You can call us up on the number 0817 923 0003. 0817 923 0003. You can also call the number 0817 923 0009, 0817 923 0009, or 0817 923 0002. Michael is in Mile 4. Let's start with Michael. Michael, please go straight to the point. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to make it, not necessarily asking a question. Am I allowed?
Go, of course.
Okay, my name is Godi Mike, and I'm calling from Mile 4, from Apricom. You see, when something has outstayed its usefulness, let's forget about it. People from Europe, Asia can come and copy whatever it is Nigeria is doing concerning NYSC, no problem. But at least now, let me just ask you, if your son or your daughter, you hear that child is being posted to Zamfara now, or Sokoto, or Borno, Maiduguri, what would be the first impression? Insecurity, death, and all that. In the 70s, when this thing was initiated, nothing like that. But now, bandits, Boko Haram, people can go to a whole community and pack people and then on the road, nobody is unchallenged. And where somebody is telling, in fact, your guest there is not giving a balanced story about NYSC. Those who are encouraging balance about this NYSC something are those who are getting the juicy aspect of the project and the contract in NYSC. That's the truth. Accident on the road, kidnapping, and all that. Was it like that in the 70s? I'm asking your guest. My name is Gordon Mike.
All right, Mike, thank you. Let's go to Agri Road. Martins, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Martins. Go on.
Yeah, I want to make a comment over the guest listen.
Go on.
About the loan scheme that he's talking about. That loan scheme, I don't think it's working. None of the core members who are served pass that have received loan. They apply, but it doesn't work out when Nigeria is not a country that favors the common people. If he said that it's working, he should name the people that have benefited from trust loan. And again, on the other hand, as the first speaker said, the aim of the NYSC has been divided because of insecurity and ethnicity. Do you expect any of your share or your work to go to a state that is secure, where there is a kidnapping of core members, killing or whatever? So whatever he's saying there, he's only saying things on his own. He's saying things on his own. That is not what I will say, because the aim of the scheme has been defeated in this country. Thank you.
But I just wanted to get your response. Two things I would like to draw, especially from the first caller, and both of them said something quite similar. We've heard stories, we've heard reports, news of core members who lost their lives because they were on their way to where they are to serve, and maybe they got attacked by bandits or kidnappers. These things have happened. And some of them are quite right when they say, and you would agree, that, well, the country as it is now isn't what it was like in the 70s, 80s. It's quite more different with regards to the issues that we are facing, which are quite peculiar to us. And the question would be, would you say that certain government policies or government actions or inactions is affecting the ultimate aim of the NYSC?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to Mr. Martin and Mike, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, I want to invite the second caller. Probably he will come to the camp today so that you will see those that will win money for their business startup, so that you will know that it's working. We don't, in the NYSC, we don't say what we are doing. It's not what we don't do, because we have nothing to lose. What we want is the young people should have something to do. You know the Malthus theory in economics. I'm sure you did economics in secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
You did that?
Yes. Go on, yes.
And you heard about population growth. When Reverend Thomas Malthus came up with that if the world doesn't do something, there will be explosion, because food production was not growing as population. But Malthus theory never came to pass. You know why? Because the new world was discovered. US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and people moved to those directions. The NYSC knew about issue of job, that as the country grows, institutions being established at a period, more graduates will turn out than the available job. And that was what informed the NYSC to go into skillization. And that is apart from those that win national awards that are given automatic employment by the federal government. Apart from monetary medal and a certificate signed personally by the president, and those who go back, to tertiary institutions to do their masters and PhD, all on the federal government. So these things are going up. Most time, what we should do is ask questions. Once we ask questions, we'll be better informed about this thing. You talked about people. You watch the unity walk, probably in most of the states of the federation. Did you? Sorry, I'm asking.
Yes. Go on. Yeah.
Yeah, you watch, and in the course of watching, you saw core members in every state celebrating the NYSC.
Wouldn't that be because they are core members serving? If I'm a core member already serving, it's just like I'm a police officer and I say we're having a parade and I wouldn't be a part of the parade because, that would be me almost shooting myself in the foot.
Then, apart from that, people are in the camp. We're on camp right now. So there's camp going on in all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory.
Do you think, Mr. George, let me say this. Do you think that if organizations and companies no longer require you to show NYSC certificate before they employ you?
Rather,
if that is... No, I'm coming. Just let me land. If companies say we no longer need to see NYSC certificate from you, it's no longer a criteria, whether you go or not, come would employ you, you can get a job anywhere. Do you think that many young people would still want to?
It's a national program and it's a requirement, be it in the public or private sector.
That's my point. The question I'm then asking is, would you not say that maybe many people are doing the program just because they've come to be coerced into it indirectly, looking at the fact that it's almost like a certificate? People would not want to go to school, but they know that they need a certificate to get a job. And so some people go to school. You agree with me that we have some people who go to school and graduate, but they can't even spell their names, but they have certificates. Is that what the NYSC is becoming like?
Are you not saying that? I'm sure, maybe I should. Are you from this state?
I'm not. I was born here, so technically, in fact, I'm from this state technically because I was born here, Old River State at the time.
I've met people who told me that they came to River State over 30 years ago as core members, and they marry, and they have their children here. Technically, they are part of this state. They've contributed to the development of this state. The NYSC, you agree with me. 2 days ago, after the unity walk, I went to Aouda. On getting to Aouda, you know what I was told in Aouda? That the very first time they are seeing core members coming to give them free treatment, free medical treatment, because we have a program called HRD, Health Initiative for Rural Dwellers, where we take our professionals to a community and give them treatment free. And that was done. And there was celebration. So have been able to accelerate rural development. In education, there are schools you go to, and the other teachers you see, they are core members.
All right, Mr. George.
Hospitals. So when you talk about, the usefulness, ask the average young graduate and ask those who are not able to serve how miserable are they feel that they can't serve.
All right, we're going to get to that. No. That's a great question you just put up. Let's take a call from Dandison, Ajipe State. And we'd also hear from the listener if they feel that way. Good morning, Dandison.
Good morning, it's Amy.
All right, go ahead.
Nice program.
Thank you.
Yes, good morning, the studio.
Thank you. Good morning.
Let's call a spade a spade. For me, my opinion is the NYSC has outlived its usefulness. Most of the things your student is talking about as gains are not gains per se. These are things that even civil society organizations carry out without the kind of budgetary allocations that NYSC has, and they benefit from. When you say graduates are feeling bad because they were not called, they could not serve, which graduates, please? Let's take a roll call. Let me tell graduates to call in now and tell you, I have 3 of them, and none of them will willingly go for NYSC if it is not compulsory. It is the compulsory nature of NYSC that is making them go for NYSC. A lot of them would rather use that period to make ends meet in the country we find ourselves right now. The economy is bad. Security is worse. The system itself is corrupt. NYSC is one of the most corrupt schemes in Nigeria. If you know the level of corruption in NYSC, just call a copper and tell them the amount of money they get to pay in case they are sick and they miss CDS, just to be able to be cleared. Call an NGO and ask, or an organization and ask when they request for coppers. Write letters. My organization has sent in letters requesting for coppers. I didn't get any because I couldn't grease hands, despite the fact that I had good accommodation and pay for the coppers. or because I couldn't grease and I didn't the coppers I requested for. So in a nutshell, for me, the NYSC should not be scrapped, but it should be rebranded. Its focus should be more of generating revenue for the country, rather than, because this is manpower we are talking about. The other time, the Northeastern director of the organization was saying they have about 400,000 core members annually passing through the NYSC. That is enough manpower to grow the agricultural sector in this country, to grow the tech in this country. Why not set up regional farms? We have 6 regions in this country. Why not set up mega regional farms? Digitalize that has the best.
All right, Dan, thank you, but we have to go to
husbandry, have the agrarian sector and all.
Thank you. We have to go to Rumukwara. Salvation is on the line.
Walk there.
Thank you, Dan from Achi Peste, but we have to let you go now. Salvation, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. On the issue of the NYSC, I think the NYSC is not really serving the interest of the youth at this moment, on my own view, because the NYSC is like the government is using it as a form of a cheap labor. Whereas I think that's the major aim the government wants to retain that NYSC. Now, imagine we take coppers and you use them for 1 year and you allow them to go. Now, most establishments does not even care if they want to employ anymore. For example, an establishment that need like 20 workers, they can just decide to employ only 5, and they will hope that by the end of the year, 15 coppers will come. And when those ones will finish their time, they send them back. They hope to get another one. And those people that have worked there, we go on the streets, roaming and looking for jobs. So I think in the interest of that cheap labor that made the government to retain, know that NYSC really serve any purpose for national unity. That is not even working at the moment. So I think the NYSC needs to be reconsidered.
All right, Salvation, thank you. Let me put out the question that Mr. George asked. If you're listening, if you're an undergraduate and you missed the NYSC, would you feel bad? Would like to know. So you can send in WhatsApp messages or you call in and let us know whether if you're an undergraduate and you missed the NYSC, you would feel bad. Let's know. Unamdi is in Rumokoro. Good morning, Unamdi. Hello.
Hello.
Unamdi,
Hello,
yes.
dude.
Unamdi, you're welcome. Andrew here. Go ahead. Good morning.
Just like maybe the previous caller before the last caller said, I think NYSC should not be scrapped, but it has to be rejigged. It has to be redesigned to meet the times we're in. 50 years ago, a whole lot has happened in the country. A whole lot. It's like almost a generation and a half, or just very close to 2 generations has passed. The things we faced fascination 50 years ago are not the same things that we're facing now. The economic situation of the country 50 years ago ain't the same now. Population ain't the same. So it goes on to tell you that we need a whole lot of rejigging. And if you tell me to be honest, the idea of NYSC is still perfect and is still needed, even as I think it's even more needed now, more than ever. Just like we were discussing with our guests, this elections period and the whatever that followed after it shows there's still so many divides, even amongst young people. So we need to rejig and I can understand NYSC is under attack. When somebody schools in the south and you tell him to, for instance, you're putting him to Zamfara, not so many people want to go. But of course, it's not NYSC's fault. They are not meant to provide security. The government is meant to provide security. So when there's no security in some parts of the country, it also affects the whole idea of NYSC. So you see, the whole thing is only NYSC, but the government has to play its own part. Then ultimately, just like I said, we need to rejig it to face or to combat our current challenges. So it will come out much better than what it is. But if we want to continue doing what we were doing 50 years ago, probably 50 years from now, we'll still have the same result and the same complaint.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure Mr. George is still on the line. Let's just add a few WhatsApp messages to this, Mr. George, before we get on. On Facebook, too, we have certain comments. It's just a lot of it. I'll just add a few of them, and then you respond. Alex says, currently, NYSC is nearly an organized waste of useful and youthful 12 months. We know that some years ago, the reason the scheme was created was achieved. Indeed, it gave room for national unity. Yes, we are not oblivious of the fact that some things went wrong. I don't celebrate failure, I only celebrate success. Federal government should restructure or scrap the NYSC. Jedi Kenna says, just done with NYSC at Benue Makodi. Job hunting now after graduation. Is someone okay? Akbirigwe Chile says, hi presenter, the NYSC scheme has actually achieved its cardinal focus because so many now work in their PPA, marry from there. The challenge is people who had no intention to serve force themselves to wear the khaki. Uwe Edet says the scheme has helped in inculcating in the youth the spirit of national cohesion and fostering harmonious coexistence. There's a lot of messages here. Let's see if I can take 1-2 more on Facebook. Nothing changed. Just go there, collect the alawi, and then you leave. This is from Oluwa Nishola. Festus Abraham says it's unbelievable. Amos Ayodele says capital no. John Okpara says no, it has not achieved it. Okore Chimeche Fulham says I don't think so. That's just from Facebook. We have quite a number of messages as well on WhatsApp. But first, let me just hear from you. You heard some of the callers now, and it's bringing me to ask you what I've asked before. Do you think that if the NYSC was not compulsory, if government said we are creating this program to foster unity, but it's not by force, if you want to do, if you don't want to do, leave, do you think people would want to?
Then the issue of fostering unity will be defeated.
So it's unity by force?
No. You are a country, and after the Civil War, the government then, the intention was the 3 arrows. And then the 3 arrows will be implemented using the younger generation. No country desires to fight war. And when it happens, there's something like that happens like that. The intention is, look, there need to be trust. There need to be oneness. I mean, people are stronger as one. In your unanimously. And that's the intention too. No country wants to be divided. The desire for me, and I know for majority of people, NYSC in terms of national unity and integration, yes, even the one of the callers who talked about, he went to NYSC. If I say, okay, Mr. Caller, come to the office when we come back from the camp.
You're referring to Dandison.
That will not be done, But I don't want to talk on those things then, because for me...
Would you say, okay, I'm sure Dandison is listening. Can you say he should come to the office?
Don't keep coming. Yes, he should come to the camp. At least I'm in the camp. If you come to the camp today, and let me see the request is submitted for co-members. Do we keep the co-members? We send them to places. For us, it's an opportunity to learn. And that's what we desire. And that is why every time when employers make requests, we make sure, we might not give them the entire number, but we'll give it because we want to spread it. We want to make sure that companies are involved in education, health, agriculture, and rural development or rural infrastructure development. So we don't keep them.
Okay.
We post.
Let's take some more questions.
Tell him, I'm sure he's listening. Let him come to the camp.
All right, Mr. George. Let's take some more questions. On WhatsApp, this one here says, okay, if I'm an undergraduate and I miss the NYSC, I won't feel bad. Just that when you are applying for some jobs in government sector, they require you to submit the NYSC certificate. Kingsley Ugochukwu from Iwofe. So it brings us to what I was saying. Some people go to the NYSC because it's something that they need to get that document, not because they really love to go to the NYSC.
But if you look at the objective of the NYSC, the objectives talked about lay a lot of emphasis on mobility of labor. Talked about seeking employment at the end of the service here at any state in the country. That promotes mobility, movement of free movement of labor.
Okay.
And employers too are equally encouraged.
All right. Okay.
Employ readily available manpower.
Quickly.
Of their state of origin.
All right, quickly, Mr. George. Let's take this call. So just a question from Carl Orakwe is on the line. Hello, Carl.
Andrew.
Yes.
I quickly want to respond to when the director talked about if you miss the scheme, you feel bad. Well, in my own time, I don't know if it's changed now, and I know for a very long time, if you are beyond the service age, you're given a letter of exemption.
Yes.
But guess what? People lie about their age because they wanted to serve. Now, the letter of exemption is actually equal to the certificate itself. So for those who are saying that the certificate, they need to work. But people wanted to, have that experience going to service, and they usually even lied about their age. So that was, I just wanted to respond to that. In my own time, and for a very long time, people indeed felt bad if they did not go to a service, if they did not don that uniform, if they are not able to take pictures and show to the world, yes, I served. People really felt bad. So, except that has changed now, I do not know.
All right, Mr. Carl, thank you very much. You heard that. We have a commercial coming, Mr. Gabriel. So we'll get you to conclude after the commercial. But from what he said, is a situation now we have many young people who lie about their age to get the exemption letter because they don't want to go to serve.
No.
That's also a problem. Yeah, you come in just after this commercial. I'm just late, so just hold that thought. Just after this commercial, you'll come in and then we'll attempt to wrap this up. Meanwhile, if you are listening, Nigeria Info, my guest here has been the the coordinator of the NYSC here in Rivers State. And when we return from this commercial, conversation will continue. George Mfongang, he's still with us on the line. My name is Ifemi Andrew. Would you feel bad if you had missed the NYSC service here? Do you think the NYSC has accomplished its objectives? Well, these are some of the questions that we're asking you. Let us know. After the break, we use the WhatsApp numbers and social media handles. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH Facebook, Nigeria Info PH Twitter. Stay tuned. The River State NYSC coordinator. Sir, thank you for staying on. So let's get your response quickly as we attempt to conclude things this morning. Hello, Mr. George. I think we'd have to try to get back in contact with him. Then, while we wait to do that, let's just take some of your messages on WhatsApp. This one here on WhatsApp says... This one says, good morning. I didn't go for NYSC because of my age and I feel bad. However, it should be rebranded because, albeit Einstein defines insanity as doing things the same way and expect different results. This person says, I served 2 years ago, and I must tell you it was a beautiful experience. Connected to of my friends, female from the south, male from the north. They got married. Both of them were doctors. Okay, it's beautiful. And this one says, no economic value. It should be scrapped. Another person says, good morning. NYSC scheme is a waste of time. Imagine after 1 year of service, nothing to show for it. All right. Honestly, I would say, see, when people argue that, Mr. Gabriel, hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, it's Mr. George.
Mr. George, I beg your pardon. Mr. George, I beg your pardon.
Okay.
All right, so I wanted to get parting words from you because we already ran out of time and we needed you to give us a conclusion, especially with some of the comments made.
You wanted to talk about age something.
Yes, that this period, we're beginning to see young people. People say the corruption within the NYSC has allowed young people to fake their age.
Let me correct that impression, please.
Okay, please do.
The young people don't evade service. Young people don't. And that's why NYSC went further. We have an interface with WAEC.
Okay.
We have an interface with WAEC. Because, during WAEC, you are supposed to give your date of birth. And it's already on your certificate. So when we see people that, that are obviously overage, we get their WAEC. And their WAEC normally proves us right that these people are above our age. You see somebody, really this is over age, but I tell you, because of, they want to, we say no. That the orientation is for those 30 below.
What other reasons are there for people to evade, to exempt themselves from the NYSC aside age?
That exempt them from NYSC.
Yes. Are there any other reasons?
If you've been in the security agency, military, police, security for up to 9 months and above, you're exempted. And then if you've been a recipient of national honor, you're exempted.
Health reasons?
Sorry?
Are there health
reasons? Health reasons, you are not exempted. You can only be deployed to where you'll be taken care of.
Okay.
Health reasons, you are not exempted. And in terms of health, somebody talked about health, something, they don't. No, we have an interface with NHIA. All coming back. Once you are mobilized, you are insured by the federal government in terms of health. So you have free access to free medical treatment. You don't pay for it.
All right. So any coming back can go into any hospital or specific hospitals for treatment?
No. You go to specific hospital. If you are sick in Port Harcourt, there are designated hospitals you go to.
All
in Obiakpor, there are designated hospitals you go to. Once you go there, they get your code, you be treated. The HMO will handle it.
All right. Thank you.
And we have that in all over the country, since the political zone.
Thank you very much, Mr. George Mfongang. There's always a lot to talk about, but then we're already out of time. All the best in camp today. Hopefully we have these conversations some other time and we discuss a lot more.
Anytime at all. Anytime. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. If me, my name, and that's it for us. Already out of time. We have to go for the world news, and Hello Port Harcourt is next. Stay tuned.
You are tuned in to 999.